Hi, Aries. This is your reading for the month of April for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading and this is not going to resonate for every single Aries out there. All right, you guys, before we begin, happy birthday to all of my Aries out there. I'm so bad with birthdays. But yeah, let's get started. So what is happening for my Aries for the month of April? We have unstuck the stuck. But it came out kind of in the reverse. For some of you guys, I feel like a lot of my Aries, what do you really want? I feel like that's something that's kind of popping into a lot of my Aries' mind for this month. A lot of you guys are trying to kind of figure out what is it that you really want. For every Aries, it's going to be a little bit different. But I feel like for some of you, you're questioning, what do I really want in a relationship? Where do I even really want to move? What career do I want to do? There's a lot of stuff that you guys are questioning about yourself. And a part of you guys are kind of wondering, are you making right decisions? Are you going about things in a different way? Some of you guys are questioning if you're self-sabotaging yourself. I feel like a lot of you guys might have that tendency, or at least some of the Aries that I'm picking up on. You guys are kind of like me in this way, where you just get way too curious about multiple topics. And so maybe you have this tendency of like, oh, for 1 month, I'm all about this thing, or for a couple of months, I'm all about it. And then it's like you lose interest in that topic, or you know what I mean? So it's like you're so curious that you never stick with one thing. And then it's hard for you to literally master anything or to really make a career or do something with it, you know? But yet you just know all of this stuff now because you guys just learn everything. But it's like, I think for some of you guys, yeah, like I was sensing, it's the confusion because you think you want something and a part of you believes that, yeah, I'm going to get this thing, but then you're afraid that you're not going to enjoy it on an emotional level. Or maybe every time you go into something, it burns out quickly for you. And that's just what I keep getting. So whether that's relationships or certain topics or certain things, or it's just a lot of stuff that you're noticing that it's been accumulating throughout your life. So like, for some of you guys, yeah, it feels just like there's this piece of you guys that when you put something, it's hard to explain here because there's a time like where you'll put something together here. You know what? I'm just gonna... All right, so let's see. Before I continue, because I feel like I'm picking up a lot of stuff right now, and it's really hard to kind of articulate everything that I'm getting. Because with that ace, so you have the Ace of Swords, the Tower, the Devil, the Page of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands, and then the Judgment. I think a lot of you guys, you always seem like you're confused about what you think you'll actually enjoy. Because I feel like you guys put all of this time and this effort maybe into learning something or wanting to know something, and then it's like you either back out or something happens. And I feel like this has been repeated throughout your past. So it's like, you might get into a relationship thinking this is your person, and then either you fall out of love with them or you break up with them, or there's just something there that keeps making you repeat a specific cycle, and it's always just like in and out of projects. Maybe you never can truly keep a job because you're always going from job to job. There's something here where you're just jumping from one thing to the next, and it's because you have like either a short attention span to those things or you get bored easily. But what I'm also getting is it's that fear of losing your freedom. And it's like afraid to be chained. And that's like your biggest fear. So in your mind, it's like, it's very hard to describe because I myself have gone through similar things. So it's like you're afraid to truly commit to something. What if I can't really achieve what it is that I want to achieve? Plus, I keep getting this sense of you guys are very curious people. And like I said, you need variety in your life. And so I feel like a lot of you guys are feeling really frustrated because you can't seem to get, like, you want to try on all of the hats. You want to try what it's like to be everything. And there's something there because when you start something, I feel like I said, like, you'll start it, but then you start to lose passion for it, and then you start to juggle because you feel like, should I continue doing this or should I let it go and restart something new? And I feel like that's what keeps happening for you guys. Because even with that Judgment card, I keep getting this sense like there's a part of you guys that feel like no matter, like you almost feel like maybe some of you tell yourselves, okay, I just haven't found what I liked yet, and people maybe around you tell you, oh, you never stick to one thing. You're always, flaky, or you always go out and do other things. Like you just never seem to stick with certain projects, and people call you out on it because people are like, well, in order for you to be successful or in order for you to have certain things, you got to be like this. So I feel like a lot of you guys, you get back this feedback from people that tell you that if you really want to do anything in life, you have to stick to one thing. And then it's like you feel this sense of panic inside, or there's just this, you don't like that. Because there's a piece of you, again, like I said, that likes variety. You like the freedom. You want the space to be able to do what you feel drawn to do in that moment. And it's like you don't want to be just tied down in that sense. So I feel like a lot of you guys, that's where a lot of this kind of comes in, is you feel almost like you start out like as the page, you're learning. Sometimes you guys can get to like, where you're like a kind of an expert, and then you kind of fade out, the passion's gone. And then you're like, well, I guess I don't want to do photography today or anymore. But, I've always wanted to know how to paint or be an artist. It's like you choose one thing to the next. And I feel like that's, those are just examples, but I feel like for a lot of you guys, that has been something in your life. And you feel like, some of you, this is what's interesting. You think that you need to heal this, or there's something wrong that you just can't seem to commit to one thing, and then it eats at you guys. But I'm getting this sense that for a lot of you guys, I think that when you feel like you don't know what you want, or when you feel like you don't know what it is that you really want to accomplish, it makes you feel like you're untrapped. But what's so interesting that a lot of people, and you may not see, is you kind of being that jack of all trades, master of none. That is what's building you up. You start as a page on learning topics, and then you kind of fizzle out on a topic, but then you learn something different. But what you're going to realize is it's actually building you to become a Queen of Pentacles, because everything that you have been learning, everything that you've been experiencing, whether that's relationships, hobbies, careers, all kinds of anything, really. It's building your character so where you can see things in a more creative way. You're gaining new knowledge, and it all seems to connect together. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're going to be able to make money off of this. But some of you right now, you're not able to do that because you're still kind of in this process of really kind of like getting down to how can you utilize the information that you've learned, and how can you get out of that inaction that you kind of have yourself in. Because I feel like a lot of you, you feel really depressed. Like I said, I don't think a lot of you like to stay where you are. You like to learn new things. And if you're not learning new things, or if you're not doing certain stuff, like you need the variety in your life. And if you don't have it, you feel stagnant, or you feel this sense of like the passion is gone, the creativity isn't there. And it's like you need to figure out a way. It's like, how can you make your own business learning everything that you've learned? And how can you utilize that? Because I feel like everything that you've been learning has been kind of piecing things together for you guys. But you just have to become more aware of what that is. So let's get some clarifiers here. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my voice. But honestly, I feel like for a lot of you guys, this really can be in your favor here. See, you feel like you're untrapped when you don't know what to do. It's like you learn, like you learn stuff that you want to learn, but like I said, like you constantly stay confused on what it is that you really want to stick with, and it makes you feel like you have freedom, but at the same time, there still is part of you. It's like when maybe you were a child, since childhood, maybe you've always wanted to be like 10 different things. And you've always had very different topics that you enjoy. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're kind of figuring out, like, you have a lot of passions for different things. And a lot of the childhood stuff that you were interested in, I think also is going to play a part in that. I feel like a lot of you guys kind of protect stuff that you like in your childhood. Like you get really defensive if people maybe diss certain stuff that you enjoyed. Or there's just something about your past here where you're still a little bit closed off from really expressing to other people. Or there's just something there where you're kind of trying to protect that curiosity. Because that's like a child trait that I think a lot of you still carry, because most people, they can just do that. They can pick one subject and just go down that subject and be in the same career for years and years on end. And that works for some people. But for fire signs, I notice that it's harder for them to maybe stick to one thing if they don't feel the challenge or they don't feel that variety. And when you first start out learning stuff, it becomes a challenge. And then once you learn more about it, it just kind of fizzles out, because now you're realizing, I already kind of gone through most of it. I get the understanding of what this is, or, I kind of get the general basis of it. And then you move on to the next thing, because there's something about wanting to follow and become more knowledgeable. Like you seek for knowledge. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, that's why you juggle, because there's this sense of enjoyment. There's this sense of understanding more, like you're gaining more awareness. You feel more whole as a human being in a way. Like it makes you feel good when you learn more about that topic, and you become better at being having conversations with people too. There's always something to talk about, and I think that for a lot of you guys, maybe you've been around people growing up, or you yourself have this sense that, maybe they're right. Maybe I should become stable. Maybe I do need to hold on to one specific career, and then there's this sense of like, maybe I am just flaky, maybe, but you're following stuff that you feel drawn to. And it's like you need to learn to have the balance, though, for some of you, where yes, you need to follow your passion and you need to give, like, but you need to set time aside for a lot of it too, like learning stuff that you enjoy, or, you know, doing whatever this is for you. Because I feel like a lot of you guys, you know, it's a burden on you to do just one thing, but learn how to incorporate everything that you're learning into other projects, so that you're always going to be wanting to learn more about specific topics, and it can actually help you grow as an individual. So I feel like this is a really good thing. It's just a lot of you guys, you feel trapped because you feel like you're not... Yeah, you just... There is this sense... There's this sense that it's like, a part of you guys, maybe you know that you could really be more honest and stick with one thing, but there's still this nagging feeling of like really wanting to follow. And it feels like a lot of you feel as though people just don't understand you. People can't reciprocate why you do what you do, maybe. I keep getting this trapped feeling. And then we have all these cards. I feel like a lot of you guys, you just need to know what's best for you. If learning different topics or not sticking to one specific thing all the time, if that's what's going to help you guys, then you shouldn't care what others have to say, because I feel like you allow other people to influence the way that you do things here, and it keeps you guys stuck from really taking or leaving it. Like, you might sit there and question, okay, well, should I do this? Should I not do this? And then you really contemplate it, and you're afraid to make a mistake, or you're afraid to miss out on something. And I think that's where a lot of your guys' confusion might come into play here, because you're also like, well, I don't know, where I feel torn emotionally on certain subjects and certain things. So a lot of you guys, there are a lot of stuff, like I said, that you're very passionate about. And I think that a lot of you guys, you really want to be able to... Like, you want to be able to be successful in whatever this is for you. But it's like, in the future, everything's going to connect. So, like, if, for instance, if you're like, okay, I'm fascinated with tarot and astrology. I'm fascinated with ancient Egypt. And then you go, okay, now I've learned all of these different topics. Now I want, like, all of the topics that you feel like you want to learn. And then you might say, okay, now I want to get into Greek mythology. And then you're like, okay, now I'm done with that. I want to do this. And then you realize that it all connects, and maybe the business, or maybe certain things that you end up wanting to create in the future, it's all going to interconnect into what you're going to create. So you're going to be advanced in whatever field or whatever thing that it is that you want to do, because you're trusting yourself and you're following the passions that you have. And in this lifetime, I feel like a lot of you guys, that's part of your destiny in a way, is to kind of learn these different things. You have a bunch of you have a bunch of curiosities when it comes to certain subjects or certain things, and you just want to experience it. And I feel like for some of you guys, again, there's just people around you that could be judging you for that. Or it's just you have this sense of inner critic in yourself that tells yourself that you need to be more serious, that you can't just keep doing that. But it's like a lot of you guys are going to be able to really utilize it in the future. You're going to be able to adapt to more things because you understand more topics. Everything that it is that you've learned up to this point is all going to stack on top of each other like a foundation. So a lot of you guys are building your foundation right now, Aries, and you might not even be aware of it. But at the current time, you feel like you're blocked, but it's only because of misconceptions that you have about yourself. I feel like a lot of you guys just need to take some time out for yourself and just like give yourself that chance to really explore whatever it is that you really want to explore. Befriend the world, polarize. Ooh. Nourish the sacred feminine. You are epic, in balance, move beyond intention to believe, cozy up with risk. And then we have the spark of hustle. So with that, befriend the world, polarize. Honestly, I feel like a lot of you guys right now, you're having to learn to kind of share what you've learned. And I feel like a lot of you guys might even want to be teachers or have this passion to talk about what it is that you've learned. And I feel like a lot of you guys, you need to be able to learn to inform your own true opinion about yourself. What is it that you really want? What is it that you really believe? And then I feel like for a lot of you guys, growing and figuring out what it is that really makes you guys tick. What makes you guys happy? What is it that you really want in your life? And then go for it. And be able to just utilize all of the information that you've learned. So I feel like you guys are going to have your own unique opinions about the world or about certain topics that most people might not even understand because you, like I said, you've gained so much more knowledge about everything else that you've been able to connect it in a way that most people can't even understand or see it. And then I'm also really feeling for a lot of you guys, I think that a lot of you need to slow down a little bit. Because I feel like a lot of you guys with that spark of hustle, you might have been moving around a lot. You've been doing a lot more on average. And I feel like a lot of you guys really need to slow down a bit and really re-examine the beliefs that you have and why you're doing certain things. And I feel like with that cozy up with risk, when I first got that, I thought like cozy up, just take a second to really think things through. Balance out what you believe is good for you, and then not being afraid to take that risk, not being afraid to move forward. I feel like a lot of you guys right now need to focus more on your feminine side, need to be more grounded and in the present moment. And I think that's kind of what it needs to be done, because with the masculine energy that we have, it's all go, go, go. And you're always thinking, you're always up in your head. That's why it's like if you ever get a cut on your leg or something and you're walking around, but you're in your head the whole time, you're not paying attention to the wound that you might have. That's happened to me where I'll come back in and be like, wow, how did I hurt myself? Because I'm so up in my head. So a lot of you guys need to kind of get out of that headspace and into the body and into the emotional body. Because I feel like a lot of you guys are always moving, always doing things, always trying to achieve the next goal, going after whatever it is that you want, but you're never stopping and really sitting in that present moment and asking yourself, what is it that you really want? Because that simple question is so complex and it means so much. And you really need to take the time to sit and really ask yourself that question. Because I feel like a lot of you guys have neglected parts of your body, have neglected, like if you're always in a hustle, maybe you're not eating as healthy as you should. Maybe you're not resting like you need to. So really taking time to nourish yourself, really giving yourself the permission to just take a day or two off from learning, from researching, or from doing whatever it is that you're doing. Because a lot of you, like I said, it could just be work, it could just be all kinds of things, but you're moving through life kind of quickly. And you're needing to take a day or two off so your body has time to rest and your body has time to recover from the hardships of just always going and being stressed. Because when you're in your mind a lot, you can have a tendency of getting overstressed because you're not in perfect balance with the mind and the body. And when you're not all the way present in your body, then your body starts to get neglected. And that's where diseases and symptoms and illnesses can come from, because your body's trying to get your attention because you're not paying attention to it. So that's really something I'm also picking up for a lot of my Aries. But yeah, that's really what I'm getting for you guys for the month of April. So I hope that this helps you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Happy birthday to all of my beautiful Aries out there. Thanks, guys. Bye.